What's up, guys? This is how to reverse diet and a case study on my athlete Ty, as you can see right here. He competed December 6th, so we're going to be talking all things reverse diet. So first off, what is the reverse diet, right? It's a bump up in calories immediately post show. And why is that important? All right. So it is so important. And every athlete is very happy for this phase, even though it's very hard, right? Because you get that increase in calories and you need it. The body is in a stressed, fatigued, and poor spot hormonally. There is no muscle building going on, and you must get back to homeostasis. Homeostasis is your body fat set point where you feel good, where your gym sessions are horrible. You actually get your strength back, you get your libido back, you get your energy back, you get yourself back, right? Getting stage lean is not healthy, as everyone knows. Your body is not in homeostasis, and you cannot stay there forever. You don't get an award for staying stage lean post show from the judges. The judges don't care how long you stay peeled to the bone post show. So this is here Ty over in peak week, right? He got down to an all-time low of 165 and he was 167 on stage with the carb up. So what is REDS? We'll be talking about that as well. REDS is relative energy deficiency in sports. That is where you are not eating enough and you start to experience the negative adaptations that come with a low body fat, a low caloric intake, and high expenditure. What are we doing as bodybuilders? High cardio, low body fat, and low food intake. So we experience a lot of things. Typically, REDS is commonly seen in female athletes because they do not eat enough and they often report losing their menstrual cycle, and doctors have to inform them, talk to them about, oh yep, you're in REDS because you are not eating enough. Boom, 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 you're probably experiencing all these symptoms, blah 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 blah, we need to get you in a calorie deficit. All right, us as bodybuilders, we don't get that until post show. So post show is very important because we are purposely putting ourselves in REDS all of prep, and we start to experience a lot of negative adaptations, some people more than others. All right, so my man Ty here, he absolutely killed his prep, and he gave me a lot of time to work with him. So he did not experience too many negative adaptations, thankfully, but getting stage lean always has some effects. So it will have sleep disruption, GI disruption, hormonal disruption, mood disruption, extreme appetite, right? Extreme appetite is something pretty much everybody going through prep is going to experience. This is our couple of the models of REDS, what happens when there's low energy availability and how it affects your health. For a lot of people, it will affect their libido, right? And hormonally, a lot of guys can end up with hypogonadal test level because of being in REDS and being at such low body fats and such low calories. I've been there. Ty was nailed his prep. He didn't complain. With him, obviously, hormones, libido is going to be down. And obviously, he had a high appetite. But other than that, he didn't really experience any sleep disruption or GI disruption. GI disruption is going to be the slowdown of gut motility. I've been there. That is where you are not having any bowel movements, right? So I remember one time in prep, I didn't have bowel movements for an entire week. And sleep disruption is going to be the classic waking up in the middle of the night just from hunger, and you just don't sleep as good when you are in that extreme of a deficit. That pretty much happens to everyone. Most people will just not be able to sleep as long, right? They'll wake up after 6 or 7 hours pretty much every single night. A lot of people wake up in the middle of the night. I remember on prep, I was waking up from 1 a.m. to 4 a.m. like every single night, and you just have to do your best to fall back asleep and stay calm. So yeah, a lot of negative effects that can happen performance wise, decreased muscle strength, decreased motivation. The gym sessions are very hard to get through towards the end there. And then obviously all the health models. Typically a good sign to get yourself out of REDS is typically always libido. Once libido gets back to normal, that's when your body's in more of a homeostasis spot. So how do we get back to homeostasis? How do we get out of the deficit? What macros did we increase? So with Ty, the last couple of weeks of prep, his training day calories were 1,700. So training day, literally the day after the show, he gets bumped up to 2,770, going from 98 grams of carbs to 322 grams of carbs. I increased carbs by 200 grams minimum, from 2 to 300 grams minimum, depending on the athlete immediately post show. I also bumped up his protein 20 grams for satiety. That helps with satiety a lot. Obviously, protein is the most satiating macronutrient. And then carbs, yeah, he went up 224 grams. So that's in my 200 to 300 gram range. All right. So the key with getting out of the deficit and the key with getting the body back to homeostasis is time. The number one thing in all of natural bodybuilding is going to be time. You've got to recover, be patient, and the true key is avoiding cheat meals. Cheat meals will only cause you to lose your insulin sensitivity, shoot up in weight, put on unnecessary body fat, mess up your digestion, and mess up your slow rate of gain that we want post-show. So let's talk more about the reverse diet and talk about that initial weight spike. So Ty's initial weight spike, right? Show day morning, he was 167, and his initial post-show weight jump was 174, right? There is a lot of water gain post-show if you have a post-show cheat meal. Why is the body so sensitive post-show? Well, simply, we're very depleted, right? We hadn't been having a lot of carbs, hadn't been having, excess sodium. So when you go and have a cheat meal like Bradley Martin here, you have an insane amount of sodium, an insane amount of carbs. It causes a lot of water retention. So, say maybe he put on 1 pound of fat, from being in such of a surplus that single day of his show where he had a few cheat meals. And I did too, post show. It was a great time, right? I'm all for that. But then you just got to get right back on plan next day. So he gained some water weight, right? You fill out, maybe a pound of fat, and the rest of the weight, the other 6 pounds is honestly just water retention, right? So yeah, body's super, super sensitive, and it's honestly the sodium and obviously the sodium and carbs that drives a lot more water into all your cells after that post-show cheat meal. So reverse diet length is going to be anywhere from 10 to 12 weeks, 8 to 12 weeks, depending on the athlete. So Ty, he was feeling good. He was hormonally recovering very, very quickly. So with his initial reverse diet, we took it in 2 phases, 2 4-week phases. So 8 weeks total of the reverse diet for Ty. So the first 4 weeks on the calories given, he went to 176. So his initial weight spike was to 174. So he only gained 2 pounds in 4 weeks, which is ideal post-show, right? He nailed his reverse, only gained 2 pounds, didn't shoot up 10 to 15, 20, 30 pounds like some people do. So yeah, he absolutely nailed it. And he got his 4 weeks done at those 2,700 calories on training days. He's holding 176. So we go ahead and initiate this second phase of the reverse diet where he gets his first bump up in calories. Bumped him up to 3,100 calories on training days, kept calories still low on rest days in order to not bump him up too much, right? That way he's only bumped up 5 days out of the week, and the other 2, he still gets pulled back down to 2,600 calories. So the reverse macros for this upshift here in the 4 weeks post-show are 211 protein, 383 carbs, 70 fat. So now you see he's about 300 grams of carbs over his initial prep end of weeks, carb diet where he was on 1,700 calories on a training day. So then the rest day, right, we just pull the carbs down to 230. So yes, that is his second phase macros. So he does that for another 4 weeks. And what happens after that? He got to end his reverse diet and go into a lean bulk. Other people that may not recover as quickly may need a bit of a longer reverse diet, but he's getting stronger. All health markers are back to normal. Libido, everything of that nature is back to normal. He feels great. His body's not super, super sensitive. He's not shooting up in weight. Like I said, he's just holding 176. So where does he get to at the end of the reverse on these second phase of macros? Just another 2 pounds in 4 weeks. So he gets to 178 and he is sitting at 178. So we'll talk about what else there is to play towards the end, but these are visuals from him 4 weeks post show. So still very, very lean, some nice fullness, some nice size. And yeah, he gets his weight bump. So this is him stage lean on stage where he was 167 in the morning. And then this is him holding 176. Like the morning we give him the calorie bump up right here. So let's talk about why this is so important. So the reverse diet is so important because there's a high potential for fat gain. There's a low potential for muscle accretion. Guys, you aren't gaining any, there's no rebound post show. You aren't in a spot to build muscle. You're so weak. Your body's so frail. Your hormones are so shot. You are not putting on muscle, right? The size you see people gaining, oh, I'm getting so big post show. That's glycogen. That's glycogen getting restored into their flat muscles. Look how flat I was here. This is show day morning, I believe. Look how flat I am here, right? And you can see here, I think this is 8 weeks post show for me. Um, it's not a lot of size put on. You look so much bigger because you actually fill out. You actually get restored with muscle glycogen, and you actually get some carbs in you, right? So you get some body fat on you, which also can make you appear look a little bit bigger, especially in your arms, and other places. But yeah, guys, like there is a very high risk of injury post show because if people gain all this weight too fast and they gain all this fluid and they have all these cheat meals and they're holding all this water, you get way stronger than you were at this fatigue depleted state. And your muscles and tendons aren't used to moving that weight, you can very easily tear something or hurt yourself of that nature. Also, there's potential bad health markers, mood swings, right? Hormones all over the place. But also, if you gain too much weight, like I said, your blood pressure can go through the roof and you can mess up a lot of things internally from gaining weight way too fast. Also, everybody's appetite is high. You've got to stick to your staple foods and you've got to stick to your foods and prep. That made it possible for you to diet on. So you've got to eat those same foods. You can't just go to eating whatever you want and eating hyper palatable foods. You'll never be able to stick to your reverse diet macros. And this is me 1 week pre second show. So nice and depleted. And then I went up about 10 pounds, 8 weeks post show right here. Post show is all about recovery. So you don't get an award for staying stage lean post show. Typically, everybody's actually looking forward to the bulk, and nearly no one stays stage lean post show. In fact, most people gain way too much unnecessary body fat. But the more and more experience you get, the more and more preps you do, the better you will get at the post show processes. Also, the more controlled preps you get to have, the less you will, have to diet down hard and, be on super, super low calories, right? When you have a longer time frame and you can have a slower rate of loss, it's more sustainable, which makes you not have this revenge eat mindset post show. Most people fail and they binge up in weight. They have this revenge diet mindset where they have to revenge for all the nights they went to bed hungry during prep. But it's a long phase post show. You can't just eat right away, right? The food will come, the calorie bump ups will come, but post show you have got to stick to your reverse diet plan, and you've got to be patient when health markers don't come back right away. Your libido won't come back right away. It will take some weeks to fully feel yourself again. It takes about 12 weeks post show to fully recover hormonally on the inside. For females, it takes a lot longer. For females, it can take 6 to 8 months post show. And that is why it's very important to have some time off in between preps, right? If you go and try to diet down again when you're not even fully recovered hormonally, your training sessions aren't even good again. You are just setting yourself up for failure. What you must do is you must gain weight slowly to those like 6 to 8 weeks post show to your healthier body fat where you are at homeostasis, right? Anywhere from 10 to 14% body fat, depending on the individual and what their body fat set point is. Some people feel better, leaner, and some people's body fats are better at being leaner than others. And you can actually change your body fat set point, right? Like I said, the more and more experience you get, the leaner and leaner you stay year round. The more and more you diet and the more and more your body gets used to being a bodybuilder, right? You can lower your body fat set point and feel better at lower body fats. But the key is finding your healthy body fat set point. And pretty much you find that based on your health markers, right? Your hormone markers, but mainly training. Like everybody has a certain body fat that once you get to, your gym sessions are not the same. You lose a ton of strength. You don't feel good in the gym. You feel weak and frail. And then coming out post show, you have to find your healthy body fat set point where you feel good in the gym and you are just got to sit there. You just got to sit there. You've got to gain, that initial around 10 pounds post show in the reverse diet in about 6 to 8 weeks. And once you get there, you're probably at your healthy body fat set point. You've got to sit there. If you keep just shooting up in weight and increasing calories, you're going to be putting on fat for no reason. So you just sit there and be patient, and then you get to lean bulk, and you get to grow. It's the best time, the best lifts ever. You get fueled up, you get to get stronger, and you get to grow. Training is the primary stimulus for muscle growth. You must get back to quality training. And so, what do? You get back to homeostasis, you sit there post show, you find your calories for your lean bulk where training is amazing, you're getting stronger, and you get strong and grow. You don't chase an arbitrary number on the scale. Chasing a body weight, oh, I'm going to bulk to 200 pounds. That is the stupidest thing you can do. That is stupid. That is just putting on unnecessary body fat. We base everything on the mirror and training. Are you getting stronger? Yes or no? Are you getting stronger? Okay, you're going to be growing. All right, so Ty got to finish his reverse diet 8 weeks post show. All right, like I said, his body was in a good spot because he gave me plenty of time for a long prep, and he did not experience too many negative side effects or negative adaptations from reds and things of that nature. So 8 weeks post show, I was like, all right, it is time for your second calorie bump. We are going to take a deload and then begin the lean bulk. All right, so we finished up his reverse diet. He took a deload that last week, and then we bumped up calories to 3240. You can see the macros right there, and then 2800 instead of 2600 on rest days here. So just a slight bump up one more time, right? Because he was just sitting at 178, 8 weeks post show. And so we gave him his second calorie bump up. So in total, he's up from 167 show day morning, 11 pounds to 178 with 2 calorie increases on the reverse diet. And now with the second calorie increase, right? Obviously, this is where we're at currently. So I haven't seen his body weight trend up. I told him we don't base things on the scale. We're not chasing a body weight. So if his body weight is trending up too fast and we're just putting on unnecessary fat, I may have to pull him back down, closer to the calorie bump up that we did 4 weeks into the reverse diet, because I don't want him putting on unnecessary fat. When we use the scale, it's to pull back down, because if he's gaining too much weight, if he goes up to 180 next week or something like that, then we're gonna have to pull him back down. That's when we use the scale, but we don't chase it, right? We want his weight trending up slowly, right? I would want him to reach 180 maybe in the next 2 months or so. But other than that, I kind of just want him to maintain this, slowly grow, right? We do want to make sure we're in a slight surplus, and we will hopefully see the scale trending up. But if he doesn't gain any weight or anything of that nature, for some reason, just stays at 178 for the next 2 months, then obviously we can go ahead and go with another small calorie increase just to make sure the scale is trending up, because we do want to be in a small surplus, but we do not want to be gaining weight too fast. So we will be sitting here and we sit on these calories and make adjustments with needed, but that depends on if we have to pull him back down, and how his training is. His training is awesome. He's in homeostasis. He feels good at this body fat. He's getting stronger every day at this body fat. So there's no reason to push up more up in weight. So his ideal weight where I want him sitting, anywhere from 178 to 180 over the next couple months, and he'll be growing. As long as he's getting stronger, I promise you, he is growing. And these calories have been enough for him to grow. And so hopefully he will sit here for the time being until we need to make an increase, or hopefully not, or hopefully we don't have to pull him back. So like I said, every single person is so individual, and that's why you have to take it check-in by check-in. But the main point of this last lean bulk slide is we do not chase an arbitrary number on the scale. We find his weight, his homeostasis, where he's kind of going to be sitting at post show, or post reverse diet. And we want to stay right there, slightly increase the calories just to make sure the scale weight is slowly trending up. Pull him back down if it was too much of an increase. But I would like him to just stay on these calories and grow for as long as he can, because we don't need to get him unnecessarily fat, right? We're not going to chase a body weight. We're not going to chase a scale weight. Everything is going to be based off of his training performance and the visuals, right? If he checks in the same spot, Compare the week before, compare 4 weeks before, compare 6 weeks before. Okay, are we seeing visual changes? Is he getting bigger? Is he growing? All right, so go by the mirror, go by the training performance. Do not chase a number on the scale. Find your initial weight where you're going to be in homeostasis, training hard, getting good quality training. Get there in the 8 to 12 weeks post show on the reverse diet, and then sit right there. We're not going to keep pushing up more and gaining unnecessary body fat. So that's the reverse diet and a little bit about the lean bulk. Let me know if you guys have any questions.